It's time to give you guys my personal ranking of the Red Rising series, starting from number 6 all the way to number 1. Please do not flame me for some of my takes. This is purely subjective. The most important part is that we all love Red Rising, right? Starting off at number 6 is Red Rising, y'all. This is probably no surprise, but I genuinely was not a fan of this book at all. I genuinely had to rage finish this book because I just couldn't understand what the hype was. I'm like, is this what everybody's talking about? I don't know, man. I just thought it felt kind of like a Hunger Games in space ripoff. I thought the writing was really not that good. It felt extremely YA to me. The premise, like the first 30 pages, I thought were really good. The premise of the book, the foundation of the story was phenomenal. But once we got into the academy and all that stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, and all the war games and they divided into houses and all that stuff just didn't move me at all. Some of the things that happened in this book were extremely questionable. And I was just kind of like, yeah, this is really not it. One of my very first posts on TikTok, on Book Talk, was talking about how much I didn't like this book. And everybody and their mom said, okay, that's normal, but read book 2. And if you still feel that way after book 2, then just drop the series. But I promise you, you're gonna love book 2. And spoiler, guys, right? We're doing a Red Rising ranking. It means I love the rest of the series and I'm still going. And yeah, so this is my series, but we'll get to book 2 at some point in this video. But basically, this is why this comes in last. Coming in at number 5, guys, is Dark Age, which is book 5 in the Red Rising series. This book to me was just a bit, and by a bit, I mean a lot, way too long. Like, why is it this long? And a lot of it is just action on action and talking and things that I generally just wasn't impressed by. The action doesn't move me if it takes up so much of the story. Yes, there were some key moments in here, especially with Victra, that I really liked, but a huge part of this book, I was just kind of like, yeah, this is not really doing it for me. I understand they're trying to get darker, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. Now, this is probably the first book on this list where y'all are gonna be like, is something wrong with him? What kind of take is this? But y'all, coming in at number 4 is Morning Star. And I know a lot of y'all have this as like your top 2, top 3 books in the series, but for me, it didn't really work, especially coming off book number 2. There just wasn't a lot in this book that I really cared about for some reason. There was some key moments in the middle, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where certain things happen to some of these characters, right? And there was key moments at the very end, huge reveals, great and phenomenal ending that really bumped this book up for me. However, a lot of the parts in between, I was just kind of like reading just to kind of get through the story. It wasn't gripping me. I didn't feel like, you know, I needed to sit forward and pay attention and really lock into the book. I just felt kind of bored, again, aside from those key moments. So yeah, that's why this book comes in at number 4. Let me know what you think about that in the comments though. But here's where y'all are really gonna flame me, guys, because what I have at number 3 is Iron Gold. I do not understand where all the hate comes from for this book. I generally don't understand that. Before I read this series, I watched videos. I saw y'all saying, I hate this series. You just have to read it to get through. You know, you just have to read it. It's a good foundation for the rest. I'm like, foundation? By the time I got to this book from the start to the middle to the end, I was locked in. I sat forward. You know how with Morningstar, I wasn't sitting forward, I wasn't locked? I was locked into this book. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, what are they talking about? What is the problem? Let's start off with one of the things that matters most to me, and that is having multiple POVs. I was not used to reading, you know, one POV books like the first 3 books in the Red Rising series at all. Like, that doesn't work for me usually, right? It was okay, but I really didn't like it. I want to feel like I'm getting a first person perspective for all the characters that we know and love and care about. And I feel like this is the first book that gave that to me. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the writing. I generally think that this is some of his strongest writing you're going to find, you know, in the entire series. And I also think that this book would be a lot of your favorite author's best book. And I'll stand 10 toes on that opinion. I love this book, and I'm here to say that this book deserves like way more hype and way more respect, because this book is great. It's also one of the first books where we start seeing, you know, different perspectives, start seeing how Darrow is perceived by members of the other classes and even members of his own, you know, Reds. Like, the Reds don't all love him, and we got to see that. This is also the book where we got introduced to Illyria, who I think is one of the most important characters in the entire series. Like, what are we talking about, guys? Like, I don't know. We got more of Cassius, Lysander. I don't know. For me, I was like, this book is perfect. This is a damn near a 5-star book for me. And I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. But y'all let me know what you think. Coming in at number 2 is Lightbringer. This should be no surprise. I know a lot of y'all have this as number 1, but for me, this book was perfect. Like, there was nothing wrong with this book. 5 out of 5 stars, perfect from start to finish, right? Had extremely emotional moments, extremely powerful moments in this book. I was sat forward, I was locked in, and I loved it. Like, I loved it. Unfortunately, my honor remains, right? Hanger 17B, we just had to get abused by Pierce Brown some more, right? He just likes doing that to us. But, you know, I'm a sucker for books that make me care. And the fact that you have characters and things that happen in these books that genuinely make me care, make me cry, make me get upset, make me angry, make me happy, make me feel joy, that means that the series is good. And this is one of the best examples in any series I've read of how to bring out those emotions. This book was great. And last but not least is Golden Sun. So y'all know I said, right? I struggled with book 1 and everybody said go to book 2, and I did. I sat there, locked in, read book 2, and from start to finish, I was tranced. I was obsessed. It felt like a completely different book than book 1. And I know now that book 1, Pierce Brown, how to write it like that, coming off of the success of Hunger Games, like publishers, in order to get published, they wanted him to write it a certain way. And so he had to do what he had to do in order to get published, right? Everybody got to eat. So I understand that looking back. But this is where you can tell he really was able to put his foot in it, to cook and stir that pot. And he did so in this book. This has one of the greatest reveals ever in any book series. I challenge you to find something better than the reveal of who Ares is. Insane. And then the ending, I never read a book ending that had me sit there and just stare off into space like this. You know that sound that goes, shee? That's how I felt. Like when you're recovering after a shock blast or a flashbang. Like, I felt like that after reading the end of this book, because I was like, where do our characters go from here? There's nothing left for them. There's nothing left for Darrow. The rest of the series, I don't even know how there's more books, how there's 4 more books after this. When I finished that, that's how I felt. And so really, because of the emotional impact and the shock and the ups and downs that I felt, no book has made me feel so emotional like this book did. And for that, that's why I gave this book 6 stars. It's the only 6-star rating I gave to any of the books in the series. I know for a lot of y'all, maybe Lightbringer could be 6 stars. A lot of y'all don't even believe in the 6-star category, but for me, 6 stars is something that really transcends the entire rating scale. And that's what this book did for me. And that's when I knew I was gonna be a howler for life. I was locked into the series, guys. So yeah, guys, that's my official ranking of the Red Rising series. Let me know what you think about what I've said, especially my Iron, Gold, and Morningstar placements. Like, I'm genuinely curious. I want productive discussion. I'm genuinely curious as to what y'all think. Love you guys. Peace.